welcome back to another video. I am Ramona, and this video is off of Reddit, of course, and it's paranormal. The question was posed, or the question, not the question, the statement, I guess you could say. I was visited by an angel during my lowest moment. This is an experience. Over the summer of 2021, I was visited by an angel called Tibri. I know how this sounds, but I needed to document this on the web in case anyone else ever comes across a similar situation. I was driving to meet up with my friend and go and have as much fun as you could in New York during peak COVID restrictions. I was depressed and driving and listening to all my favorite sad songs on my way to hang out with my friend. I park up around the corner of his house and just started crying, thinking about my future with school and my business that I'm launching this year. I light up a cigarette, and a few seconds later, after me begging God for an answer and crying about my future, out of the corner of my left eye, a random guy who looks like a Greek god with golden blonde, straight, dread-like hair, think Zeus, appears next to my car on the sidewalk, one way. He had a golden aura surrounding him as if he were going Super Saiyan from Dragon Ball Z, but very light. I could not tell you for $2 billion whether he was white or Mediterranean or what, but he looked like he was an actual representation of what churches would make gods look like in their art, even down to the halo part around the whole head. He walks up to me with some very casual New York shit, this is in Queens, and I'm crying. He asks, "I got bud if you need." "No, bro. I'm good. I appreciate you." He starts walking away and comes back once more asking, "You sure, bro? Take my number down. I'm always here for you. I'm always around here." And for some reason, I respond, "You know what? Yeah, man, you seem cool. I've just been going through a lot. You shouldn't be sad. Everything's going to be okay. You got this." I got goosebumps. I asked the angel for his name as he's giving me his number and says, "Tibri." I texted the number saying, "My name, nice to meet you." He walks away and responds exactly 3 seconds later, "You too, my brother. I will see you again soon." And he walks to the corner of the block, 15 yards away, and an immense light just shines down this one-way street and he disappears. I turn on my car, drive to the intersections, and there's only 3 places he could have gone: straight, left, or right. He went neither, and he vanished. In less than 10 seconds, this man was gone. He walked to the corner. His phone number no longer works. Goes straight to, "We're sorry, this number has." Some of you may laugh, but I feel as if it were an angel ever to approach you and send you a message. That's the best way you can think of. So why make it too obvious? For me, being raised in New York, you always got someone trying to sell you weed or take their number down, so I'm used to it. So instead of an angel coming down with its wings out and its obvious halo, what if they just popped out as a regular customer at your job? Or someone you just let across the street, even when you have the green light? Or that homeless person who truly wants something to eat? What if that's why we're told to love each other equally? Because you never know who you could be really talking to. For all we know, this reality is all just a test, and you need to pass the test by shredding kindness into every soul you meet. If I caught my angel slipping, Hebri, I'm going to make fun of you for eternity. Edit. I didn't realize, holy shit, this is an angel, the second he approached me, or like spawned in from nowhere, but only that he walked away and disappeared into the light. I had this feeling of, did an angel just approach me in the most non-obvious but low-key way? It's like I had an epiphany, and that was when I go find him 10 seconds later, after I had just seen the light get more intense and brighter. During my time with him, it felt as if I were in another world, where he was just two things. Things were brighter, and all I could hear was us talking and birds chirping. Goosebumps writing this every time I think of it. Final edit. I realize I wrote about this encounter almost a year ago exactly, so this happened summer of 2020. Read my original post on that got no traction. It was just more information. It was from a fresher mind. I only wrote about it again, this post, because something reminded me of it and brought me comfort. Here's the link to my original angel encounter post below. That's what they do, somebody says. That's beautiful. Thank you for your hour. Thank you. Oh, there in your hour of need. I truly believe angels walk among us every day and are with us in the time of need. And you actually got to meet one of yours. What a cool thing to see. Imagine how life would be if everyone was kind and loved everyone. Why do shitty things still happen? Are only some people worthy of the attention of an angel? If so, angels are bad. This is so ignorant. God gave people free wills and also allows bad things so we can learn from them. Angels are not bad at all. They aren't responsible for everything bad that happens either. Just don't try to expect angels to show up every time something bad happens. Your God seems like an asshole. God is not an asshole. People are assholes. God gave people free wills, and look at what the people are doing with each other. Mass living in unsuitable situations, starvation, homelessness, killing like crazy, polluting what we drink and breathe, war among ourselves. Instead of blaming, how about doing something just about it, like being a kinder human to everyone? This goes on for a while. We're just going to stop and move on to the next part of the story. I believe it. I'm not religious at all, but after all these years, when I was the lowest point of my life, I started seeing religious symbols and shapes around me at ordinary objects. Sort of like Jesus Christ in the grilled sandwich, haha. But seriously, I could see light reflected in the shape of angels, things like that. The most startling experience, though, I was tossing and turning and couldn't sleep, so I decided to get up and go to the bathroom. This definitely wasn't a dream. I hadn't even fallen asleep yet. I remember looking out the window before I sat down on the toilet, and in the woods was a glowing shape. Sure, it could have been light reflecting off a nearby house, but it was bluish and fuzzy, but the shape was very similar to the statue of Paita. If you've ever seen it, it's Mary holding a dying Jesus, so there's a very particular shape. I stood there staring at it, stunned, and remember getting angry because I felt like I was being haunted by these visions. I actually told it to go away, and then I stopped seeing these things. Sometimes I wonder if something godly was trying to reach out to me, and I rejected it. Someone replied with, sounds like a psychotic break. Yeah, I guess Moses had a psychotic break too. Hopefully you too will have a psychotic break and see the light. I met angels once, and they took me to some white realm. I never felt so content or happy. I was just sure that I was dead, and I was fine with that. I was just walking through a parking lot before and after the event, sober, happy. It was a clear, sunny day. I guess your guardian angel knew that you could be content and happy with a good, respectful realm. Interesting that they didn't offer a little bud. You're amazingly right. We're told to be kind because we never know who's an angel. Thanks for sharing your story. I've seen my guardian angel twice. The last time I saw her, I felt that she gave up and left. I'd OD'd on meth a couple of years later. She wasn't there anymore, but 2 demons on my floor crawling and 1 in my bed not giving a fuck. They were waiting to take me. No more, guardian angel. You don't believe it until your heart is completely set into the ways of evilness. I did dope before all of this happened for 5 years, and I was fine. I hit a point where I am not fine. I can't even have a soda without freaking out and having a panic attack. I do believe mine gave up on me. I feel in hell, 100% literally, mentally every day since this all happened. One of those occasions was bad, and I felt I may have been brought to this current dimension. I went from happy on the streets and doing what I want. Now I own a house, I have a wife and 2 kids. I can't even touch a soda. Stressed, depressed, I have the life everyone around me is jealous of. Weird how shit works. Don't do drugs. And they replied with, you can come back from it. The demons want you to think all hope is lost. It never is. Not saying it'll be easy to come back from hell, but you can. You can do it. You might need to reach out for support, though. There's some good support groups on Reddit for addicts and alcoholics. Good luck to you on your journey. Your guardian angel never leaves you. They have been specifically appointed to you from a God. Their job is to stay with you until you return to God. Talk to him, her. They have been the closest thing you will ever have to a best friend on earth. This reminds me of a story my dad, rest in peace, used to tell me about a poor beggar coming to a man at his shoe store. Unlike most people, the shoemaker helped the man, and eventually it turned out that it was Jesus God that was coming to him in disguise. It was a test. Yes, that's the Christmas story of Papa Panov. I love this, totally. This very idea has been in my mind, about treating everyone you meet well because you never know who you're talking to, and that they could be an angel. I had a conversation with an angel. I couldn't see it, and it wasn't male or female, but it had a cold demeanor and told me to stop doing drugs. I was sober when it happened, because if I continued, I would be choosing the wrong path. It let me know that either way I would be loved. If I chose drugs, I would have a much harder life. Then it was like it opened my mind to experience what the love of the Creator is like. I have no words to describe, but I felt so accepted and one at peace, and everything is connected. I still can't describe it fully. Then the being just disappeared, even though it was like invisible to begin with. It just came to deliver the message. It was like 7 or 8 feet tall. I was dumbfounded and petrified and couldn't tell anyone about this experience for a while. I know this sounds crazy, but it really happened to me. I know that it doesn't matter what you believe in. We are all connected and just do the best to get by and treat others right. I chose the hard path and turned into an alcoholic, but I'm sober now for a good long while, and life isn't bad. Just tough. I put myself in this mess, and now it's time to dig myself out. Congratulations on your sobriety. All you can do is your best. Life is hard, seemingly worse recently. You're lucky to have experienced that, regardless of what others say is real to you. What a blessing. It's not kindness if you're only doing it to beat a test or something you think the person you might meet randomly is a celestial being judging you. Kindness is its own reward. What you're doing is a transaction. I think you failed the lesson you were given. I think you failed the lesson given to you here. If you want to be kind, you should be kind, period, and expect no reward from it. Worse, expect punishment for it because you live in an unkind society, and kindness is a threat to awful people and the status quo. I actively practice kindness as an important part of my life. It hasn't rewarded me materially in any way. None. It's sent me back a lot of ways because capitalist societies expect people to be rude go-getters, and if you're not, you don't get ahead. Being aggressive and low empathy helps in literally everything: dating, work, social lives, etc. I feel left out of a lot of social groups because I don't engage in a lot of behaviors, attitudes, and actions I consider negative or spiritually damaging. I've never met or fooled any sort of celestial being, just kindness to normal, boring people, everyday people who make up our real world, all of whom are just trying to get through the day the best as they can with the upbringing and resources they have. It's only rewarding because I feel this is the right thing to do and the best way to live. There's no prize at the end of the tunnel, no stranger who will give me $1 million check, no God who will smile upon me. This is just me being the best I can be, and I accept the cost of it to my authentic self. Many times I slip up and I want to quit, and it's so ego-satisfying to do so. But I center myself on my meditation and my spiritual beliefs, and the kindness and understanding and patience and generosity and gratitude all come back to me, and it feels entirely right. I hope someday you find your path in life, but I just feel like you're missing out on an important lesson here. Life isn't a test. No being is trying to fool you into being nice, etc. You just have to discover your deepest values and live them. If there is a reward, it shouldn't matter. But I just want to stress that there really isn't, and this kind of path comes at a cost and sacrifice on your part. That's why so many people aren't kind or very empathetic. It's a heavy burden if you make it an important part of your personality. It's hard work, but important work, and if everyone at once decided to be this way, I fully believe we'd all be in a utopia overnight. Okay. Well, there are a lot of things I would like to unpack here, but I guess it makes you feel better that it's all good for you. Personally, I don't think a real angel would just drop by to offer you weed and chat you up. From what I understand, they are a bit more righteous, smiting bad people, etc. But then again, I've seen people claim the most famous archangel visited them too, so who knows? I just woke up from a nap, so I'll respond to you. I think they would. It's such a common thing for me in New York. The only strangers who approach you are tourists, homeless people, or people trying to sell you weed. If you were going to approach me, that was the best way, honestly. The energy surrounding me felt holy, and I even felt like nothing else existed with me and him at the moment until he vanished into the night. Like I said, I'm not trying to disparage your experience. Glad it worked out well, especially in New York, good Lord. If it makes you feel better, a banned copy of the original Bible used to be a lot more peaceful and recreational use of a lot of different things. It wasn't until someone later that the Bible came to what we know now. Similarly, most times people discuss angels, it seems to be a generally good thing. That being said, I'd love one to flop over my way. Been trying to get a hold of their dodgy asses for some time. Someone says, all I know, if it looks like a dude, it's not an angel. A cherub, maybe. Angels are wildly terrifying. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Hebrews 13:2. You do realize an angel isn't going to pop up with wings and make a scene out of it, right? And you can take a distinct appearance for a concrete situation. They have a dozen encounters like OPs. I think you're 100% right. I believe you saw an archangel that night. I do hope things got better for you. Things got insanely better for me. I have never experienced something like this in my entire life. I don't know what I saw, but the first thing was angel. In that moment, the world stopped for a few seconds, and it seemed like it was just the two of us on the block. Prayers out to you, my friend. Wow, there is an amazing amount of hate and judgment being thrown around in this thread. Maybe a different crowd speaks up when the A word is dropped. I don't know, but this isn't like most threads in which I've participated around here. As for myself, I've encountered lots of spirits of different kinds. I've never encountered something I'd call an angel, but based on what I've read about them in the Bible, I count myself fortunate in that regard. I've never read the Bible or cared for church, but I've always been spiritual and know that this isn't and that there was a lot more out there. This experience changed my life, and ever since then I've been felt protected and watched over. Whether it was an angel or a regular person, at that moment I felt like my prayer was answered and life has gotten better afterwards. It's strange, but I will forever attribute this encounter to an angel or spiritual being visiting me in my time of need. If it felt like I'd known this person for years, very strange, but this was my experience. I love the feedback regardless, good or bad. In my lowest time, I legitimately left my body, felt my body give up in my bed. I wasn't dying of cancer or any other illness. I was just absolutely spent with life. My body got heavy and I started to panic. But at the time, I wanted to carry it on so it would all be over. I could start to hear something around me turn into a static machine type noise, like my hearing had broken over a headphone jack, and then I started drifting near the end. I heard a voice that was like no one's I've ever heard before. It said my name and asked me a question. It wasn't a direct question. I wish I could say that it was, but it was very personal. The voice sounded so authoritative that it had compassion behind it, like how I'd imagine the greatest therapist to sound, or the greatest father. I can only believe it was God. I opened up my eyes widely and wasn't even thinking about how I felt or what just happened. I was just thinking of the question as I stared at my wall. I did this for half an hour until I finally realized the voice could have meant and what the answer to the question was, and I just started crying uncontrollably. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to fix it while knowing the answer, but I'm really trying my hardest. Not a day goes by when I don't think of the voice, the question, or how to fix it. I pray sometimes to hear it again, but I never do. But yet the original was as clear as day in my head. So yes, I absolutely believe you, mate. Your every breath and waking step is the answer. In the moment, in the now, just being full of gratitude, knowing that everything in existence is a reflection of divine love. I wish you peace of mind, of heart, and peace of soul. I'm very happy for you and your genuine epiphany. Read up on Shams of Tabriz. This soul, whom essentially appeared out of nowhere, became the soulmate and spiritual guide for the Sufi poet Rumi. That was when Rumi was intertwined with divine love. I had my own Shams when I was in my deepest darkness. Although my Shams came in the form of a feral cat, he saved me, and I can tell you some exquisite experiences I had, seemingly with a mere cat. And like Shams of Tabriz, and my Shams and your Tabriz, each vanished at their appointed time. I totally believe you, and I'm so glad you got to experience an angel. I was sitting in a crowded beach right near the water one summer day, staring and thinking, when this lady walking the beach, stops and says, "I think I'm supposed to talk to you." And she did. She knew I was having a hard time and encouraged me, hugged me, and then walked back the same way she came. That's how I know she was an angel. She came right to me. I'm jealous for the experience, but I'm glad you had it. There are some events in our lives, mine included, where you can look back at them at personal times, doubt, and find some peace. Congratulations. And I think that's a good place to end it. So hope you enjoyed this video. Find all these topics quite fascinating. That's why I'm doing them. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you don't think. That made no sense, but we're going to go with it anyway. Anyway, thanks for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, do any of those things if you feel like it. If not, that's cool too. And go check out another video. I appreciate your patronage here, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.